Jets Ward. It is a safe space for you. Now, guys, one of the biggest things that the Jets are going to be looking for this offseason, other than players, is big changes coming towards the coaching staff. As we know, Steve Wilkes, our defensive coordinator this year, got fired halfway through the season. Well, a little bit more than halfway through. And Chris Harris, who took over for him, who was our defensive backs coach, didn't look much better under him. So the Jets are going to be starting to interview new people. And we have our first one that we are requesting to interview, and that is a guy from the Minnesota Vikings, their defensive backs coach and pass game coordinator, Daronte Jones. Now, Daronte Jones has been around the league for many, many years. The age, sorry, I might have messed up. He is actually, let's see for you guys. He's actually 47. My apologies, guys. So 47 years old, little mistype right there. But 47 years old, still a young guy, has been around the league for a couple of years, actually went to LSU. He started out his career with Minnesota. So he started as a defensive pass game coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings, then left to go to LSU for a season, and then ended up leaving there and went back to the Minnesota Vikings, where he's been there since, and under Brian Flores, who a lot of us have looked at as being one of the top head coaching candidates in the NFL going into this offseason. And a lot of people assumed if Brian Flores did leave, that Daronte Jones, his right-hand man, would be the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, would take over for him. Now, what has he done? This year, that defensive backs core, they're second in passing defense, second in passing TDs allowed, first in passing first downs, meaning not giving up many of them, and sixth in net passing yards allowed, and they have many interceptions off this year. That defense has taken a step back this year, but that defense, the defensive backs core, that secondary, has just produced and been very, very stingy against quarterbacks this year and rough on quarterbacks as well. So he's a fiery guy, and he's young. Maybe he can bring something new to this Jets defense. And what was our biggest weakness on our defense last year? We had a lot of them, but we had no interceptions last year. 0. And about 4 or 5 turnovers. That's embarrassing as a football team. First time in NFL history that a team didn't get a single interception. This guy brings some new philosophies, and the players love to play for him. Brian Flores trusts him as well, and I think that speaks volumes for his teaching, his coaching. AG's trying to find coaches with synergy. Maybe he can synergize with this guy and work with him well and change this defense. So we're going to be interviewing a lot more people, but Daronte Jones is the first one going into it, and I think he's a strong candidate. Honestly, Rich Cimini said earlier this week that Daronte Jones was a sleeper candidate as a defensive coordinator. Not many people were talking about him, but now he's our first guy that we're going to interview, that we're requesting to interview. The Vikings could say no, but who knows? Maybe he hits it off with AG. We're going to do more interviews, defensive coordinator interviews, and other coaching interviews, I believe. I think there's more firings coming. But Daronte Jones gets the first crack at interviewing with the New York Jets for that defensive coordinator position. Let me know what you guys think about this.